This is what I wish the camera could see. I'll have to turn it up at an angle. Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Playwright Workshop. We're going to work today. We're going to have bodacious boku fun. What we're going to do, and I mean in a skinny few short minutes, is I'm going to teach you how to make a sun face. It's nice to learn the anatomy of the human face, and we'll put the rays around it and make a sun face. Now you'll notice several here behind me. They're different colors and they're different sizes. And I have understood from my various students that size matters, so we're going to pick kind of a medium size today, all right? Now, the first thing we've got to do to get started is we have to make a round shape, the basic face shape right here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take some paper, like a pillow, and I'm going to form clay around it, and I'm going to make just a nice, simple, round shape. Then as soon as I make the round shape, we're going to come back and divide it in half. You'll see my line. Then we'll come back and halfway between the middle and bottom, I'm going to make another line. Halfway between that line and the bottom, I'll make a third line. And those of you can begin to see the face already. Then we'll put in the eyes, and we'll put in the nose, and we'll put in the mouth. And we'll begin to develop it. The eye sockets, the eyelids, and the most fun of all, we'll add in cheeks. And then after we finish the face, we're going to come back and put the rays around it. It is that simple. Now the beauty of this is art. There isn't a right way and a wrong way. I don't even think in right and wrong. That's for liberal Democrats and Southern Baptists. I just think about having fun. That's what I'm going to do right now. Now, the first thing I need to do is get me a slab of clay. So I've got a 25-pound bag of white earthenware. That's my favorite type of clay. When it fires and it comes out of the kiln, it comes out snow white. So then I'll be able to paint it like an artist would paint on a white canvas. I'm going to take my wire tool right here. I'm going to cut a small portion of clay, about like a sandwich. I'm going to take the rolling pin, I'm going to roll it out to get it about the thickness of a slice of white bread. That's the thickness that I use most often. You see your thickness here? Was that simple? You betcha. Okay, now I'm going to take a plastic bag and I'm going to stuff it with some paper towels here. This is called an armature. This is so I can get a basic shape and the clay won't have to be that thick. So here we go. Was that simple enough? Okay, hang with me, guys. Now, I put this in the center. Now wrap this around so I have a wonderful moon shape. Now, if you can see in dimension here, I'm going to use the paddle and I'm going to shape this up nice and round. Now, we could make a moon or a face or a human, but this was the concept that I showed you earlier. That was the round shape, so I had a plan. I didn't just make this up as I go along. All right, I'm going to use this board here called a platform. I'm going to lay this on there. To make it a little bit easier for you guys to see this, I'm going to put this under it, lift it up just a little bit, okay? Now this, working with clay is so satisfying. I think it's just having control with your hands and knowing that it's just mud and sticks, so I can't really do anything wrong. I can't break a piece of glass or mix the wrong chemicals. I've got like total freedom to do whatever the hey I want to do. Okay, here we go. Nice shape, nice curve to it. Now remember our drawing? We're going to divide it right about the middle. The eyes are in the middle of the face. without training, people always put the eyes like halfway up the forehead, like my favorite Martian. They can lift up their hat and wink at you. Hi, boys and girls. So I'm going to make sure that I put them in the right place. I'm going to draw a line right across the center, just like I did in my drawing. All right, this is where my eyes are going to be, okay? Now, I'm going to hold this up. Hopefully it'll make it easier. I'm going to use this very rare exotic stick. I had this shipped in from France. This is called La Stick, okay? I'm going to take this stick. I'm going to push in on that horizon line. I made an impression. I always make an impression, okay? And I want a right angle here. That's a right angle. You see it? That's my eye socket, all right? Now I'm going to do it some again on the other side, all right? I'm pushing slightly up to get that ridge line for the frontal bone. I'm coming slightly over, and I'm deepest in the inside corner. That's a little trick. It took me a long time to figure that out. And it tapers as it comes out. Can you see it happening already? This is way cool. Okay, now, remember what I laid out on the plans. Halfway between the eyes and the bottom is the end of the nose. So I'm going to take this stick here and push up slightly. That's the bottom of my nose. Duh. Could it be any simpler? Now, every part of your body has a name. I don't just mean the names that you give them. I mean the biologists gave them names. This is a zygomatic bone. Models love them. It's got little round cheekbones, little apple cheeks. All right. I'm going to separate the lower half of the face into thirds. The cheek, the mouth, the other cheek. And I'm going to use the edge of my stick. So square stick. I'm going to use the edge. So basically, coming to the nose, I'm going to make a valley separating the cheek from the mouth. It's that easy. Point at the nose, point at the nose, okay. Point at the nose, and I'm making a valley. You see this bad boy shaping up? Is this easy or what? Now, the next trick I'm rather fond of because I invented it, and it's sleazy. All right, I'm going to push in right here for the center, top of the nose. Usually if you push your finger up the bridge of your nose, you'll hit that frontal bone. That's this big bone across here, okay? Now you got to watch this close. What I'm fixing to do is so easy. It ticks a lot of people off. I have a lot of students and they go, I can't believe it's that easy. I always thought this would be hard. Okay, you got to watch closely. Now, when you're sculpting the mouth, and this is important, the mouth is like a mountain. The center of it is high, and the two corners are further back. They're heading to the back door there, all right? So, I'm high in the middle, and I'm deep in both my valleys. Halfway down between the nose and the bottom, I'm going to take the edge of my stick, and I'm going to push up like a bulldozer pushing up dirt. See that? Way cool. This is sleazy. You're going to love it, all right? I'm going to do it some again on the other side. So right angle, like T in Tom Terrific. There at the top, dig it in right there, push up slightly. You with me? Now, I told you every part of the body had a name, and this little trough under the nose where the angels touched you before you were born so you didn't tell all the secrets of heaven, it's called a philtrum. Little boys call it a snot trough, but it's actually called a philtrum. Abracadabra. I touch it right in the middle. Oh man, this is working out good. I'm liking this. Now I'm going to pinch it. I'm good at pinching. I've been practicing on cheerleaders for years. So I'm just going to pinch that, and it feels like a lip. Okay, I'm liking it. Now I'm going to come under for the bottom lip, blah, 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 blah. And it's a bulldozer trick again. So I go just under it, and I push up, check it out. Was that easy or what? You liking that? That's working. Okay, now it gets a little more complicated, but it gets to be a little more fun. Now, I'm going to take my thumb, I'm going to put it right in that eye socket, and I'm going to push up slightly. Worked out good. I'm going to do it some again. Push up. Oh man, that looks good from here. I hope you guys are seeing this. Now, the part that little boys love best. I'm going to tell you, I love these vests. I can't work without them. All right. I'm going to take this pen. I'm going to go to the nose, and I'm going to push straight up at a right angle. Go straight up and pull over slightly. It makes a perfect nostril. I'm going to go straight up, pull over slightly. I have practiced nose picking, and I've got it down to an art form, as you can see here, okay? There's a little ball on the tip of the nose. Now, you can look at your own body. I do quite often. And, matter of fact, I got in trouble in biology tests once. They caught me counting my ribs. But it's the same sort of thing here. You look at this, you look around at people's faces, and you get lots and lots of ideas. I'm going to wrap around that little bridge on the nose. I really do. I was making a bad joke, which I do quite often, so people don't take me too seriously, because I sure don't. And I noticed the noses on people. You know, 6'2", turned up nose, turned down hose, right? So some people's noses turn up, and they drown in the rain, and some turn down, right? So if I wanted to change my mind, like a cheerleader on prom night, as much as I wanted to, I could turn the nose up. Watch this. Oh, I'm liking that. See the profile, right? Or I could turn it back down. Like it's not right and wrong. It's just having fun with it, okay? Now, I'm going to lay it here. Hopefully you guys can see this pretty good. And many people wonder why artists are the most socially developed people in the world among our society. And it's because we see things realistically. So what I did was I did the major shapes first. The forehead, the cheeks, the mouth, before I got into details like the nostrils and the eyes. A lot of untrained people, they are so fixated on the eyes, they want to start with the eye and try to build a face back around it. Okay, now, this is a trick that I'm going to use constantly. You're going to like it. If you want two things the same size, such as 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 thumbs, the trick is you grab a chunk of clay. This is an artistic term you may not be familiar with, chunk. You grab a chunk of clay, you roll it in your hand, you tear it in 2. So now you end up with 2 equal balls. That's the quickest, easy way to measure things. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to teach you, some of you may know this already from working with clay. When you add one piece of clay to another, you must use an adhesive. I'm going to use water. All right? Water and clay mixed together create something called slip, like I slip on the banana peel. So that's what I'm making there. And I'm going to put the eye in. Now, I've learned a trick. Luckily, I've been a professional artist for many years. I travel around to shows, and I learned from other artists. You know, a wise philosopher said, I'm not a genius. I'm not smart. You think I am because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. And learning from the other people lift me up. And so I've learned from all the other artists that I've seen for the last 30 years going to shows. And this is very important. If you steal from an artist, that's very bad. That's called plagiarism. If you steal from a lot of artists, that's called research. So I'm really big into research. Here we go. Now I've got that. I'm going to put, oh man, good fit. Good fit. Okay, roll this eye and put it in. All right, this is working. One thing you can learn about anatomy, you see my fingertips here? If you want to know how close the eyes are, too close together, too far apart, there's room for a third eye. Between the 2 tear ducts should be exactly the same width as the eyes. So that's a little rule of thumb, as it were. Now, we got the eyes working, got the nose working, got the mouth working. I'm going to work around with it. I'm going to play around with it some. You'll notice some of the ones behind me, they have higher cheeks, bigger eyelids, or bigger noses, whatever. And that was the point that I'm belaboring. There isn't one way to do it. So if you're slightly different, that's okay. Some of you didn't know that. If you're a little bit different from all the other people around you, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, I'm liking this guy. Oh, here's a great trick. You're going to love this. The way to know if the eye is in there correctly is I'm going to take this stick, not like an arrow, but like this, and I can't touch the eye with it because it will touch the frontal bone and the zygomatic bone and roll right across my face and not touch the eyeball. So if the eyes are sticking on your head like those stupid, ugly dogs, you know, that people walk on a string like a trained rat, if they bulge out of your head, then you've done this wrong. All right, they should fit in. Now, this little bit of detail. I'm going to put a lower eyelid on here so the eyes don't fall out. Same trick as before. I'm going to roll a coil. I'm going to taper it on both ends. I'm going to tear it. This is like a mustache, okay? I'm going to tear it in the middle so I have two equal pieces, okay? This is important. The human face is very symmetrical. It's the same on the left side as the right side, unless you're Quasimodo or something, okay? Now, I'm going to taper both ends so it's fat in the middle, skinny on both ends. Then I'm going to throw it down so it's flat on the bottom. This is bodacious important. You'll see why. Taper both ends, fat in the middle, throw it down. Now, put a little water on there, and this is the lower eyelid. Where it's flat and I throw it down, it allows it to fit tightly into the clay. Rock, hey, that fit pretty good. Sometimes I get lucky with this, all right? Sometimes I don't. All right, here we go. That is looking good. All right, I'm pleased with that. That's working. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is the most fun. The whole reason I've done this is just so I can do this next step. And I teach lessons at my studio, and everybody kind of gets carried away with this because this is the most fun, and you can't do it wrong. Okay? I'm going to grab a slightly larger chunk of clay. I'm going to roll the coil again. The trick to a coil is you use the palms of your hands and not your fingertips. Your fingertips will put dents and grooves. So it's just the palms. Nice, easy touch. Okay? Remember the mustache trick? Skinny on both ends, fat in the middle. Tear it in two, so now I have two equal pieces. All right, da, 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 da. All right, two equal pieces. Okay. Same trick as before. Taper both ends, fat in the middle. Throw it down flat. I've been amazed in my classes, a number of people that can't hit the table when they throw this clay down, and they hit me and each other. It's strange. All right, here we go again. Taper it on both ends. Throw it down. Wet it down. Okay, hope you guys can see this. This is cool. We'll bend it. Put it in there. That's my eyelid. All righty? Do it some again over on the other side. Now, they don't have to match up perfect. See the eyelids? This boy should stick there. Hope it'll stick. If it falls off, I'm going to be the first to know. All right, see this guy? Okay, I need to look at him too. Not bad. Oh, okay. All right, not bad at all. Here we go. Now, if I want to change this, I just bring it down like that. Check it out. See that change the whole expression? Or if I want to lift up just one eye, bam, lift up just one eye. Kind of give it some attitude. All right. Now we're going to do the Elvis thing. Are you ready for Elvis? This is my stick. If I put the edge of this stick right between the lips, like I was going to kiss it, like myself, I'm going to do it here. I'm going to go right between the lips. Get ready. We're going to make it, yo, baby. Elvis, bring that cheek up. Oh, yeah, killer, killer. I like it. Okay. Oh, baby. Got a little crit. Now I'll give it an even bigger smile over here. Get those cheeks up there. All right. Looking good. Looking good. See him smiling bigger now? Is that way cool or what? Okay. We got him smiling bigger. Now, got him here. We've got to put the rays around this to make it look like a sun. Okay? I'm going to take the clay, I'm going to roll it out fat, and I'm going to use what's known as the pizza technique. Okay? Again, I want the thickness about that of a slice of white bread. If it's any thinner, it's a little bit brittle. If it's any thicker, it gets a little heavy hanging on the wall. There's my thickness. All right. Hope you guys can see this. Now, this is my pizza. Just like slicing a pizza. Notice I'm not at all anal retentive. Some are skinny, some are fat. That's because this is very, very organic. Now, this time I have to score and slip. That means I'm going to take this fork and I'm going to scratch up the edges around the perimeter of this. And I'm going to wet it down good. Now I'm going to take 2 rays roughly the same size. Here are 2 rays. I'm going to score and slip them. I'm a production artist, so I'm going to do 2 at a time. Push them together. When I do that, everybody says, it looks like Yoda. It does the first couple. I just read a piece of trivia that they used Albert Einstein's face to do Yoda, so he would look smart and kind of wizardry. All right? Here comes 2. And notice I'm going in opposing directions. That way I get a little Newtonian law working. For every force, there's an equal and opposite reaction there. Okay. Here we go. 2 more. Scoring and slipping. Now I'm going rather quickly. I would try to make this look more difficult, but it's that simple. I'm hoping this works out that I had an equal number of pieces. Math not being my strong suit. You know what? I'm going to come out so close. I was overdue for some good luck anyway. All right, here we go. Scoring and slipping. Now, the one mistake that I don't want to make, and I make a lot, no, don't argue, it's true, is I want to make sure these rays are really on there. So I'm going to take my little favorite stick here, and I'm going to push up the center, pushing toward the center mass here to make sure they're well connected. This guy's got some real attitude. The mood you're in will have an amazing effect on your artwork. Okay? So in your medication phase of the moon, lots of things seem to affect my artwork. All right. They're all in there. I'm going to come back now in between each ray rather quickly. Now this is most important. These bad boys are connected, but it looks too much like a sprocket. So now I'm going to come in there rather whimsically, and I'm going to break. Sometimes I'm going to go on the left side, sometimes the right side. I'm a switch hitter there today, all righty? And this will put a little hitch in the giddy up, and it'll look more like sun rays. It'll look very organic. All righty? Now, I'm going to give it a little bend and a twist. These are sun rays. They're just dancing away there, okay? A little bend and a twist. Let's see what we got. Oh, this guy's killer. I like this, okay? Nice little smile. I like little fat happy cheeks. So I'm going to give him, you'll notice the little round cheek here in the corner of the zygomatic. I'm going to give it just a little hitch in the giddy up. We'll roll a ball, tear it in 2, throw it down. This is great therapy. Here it comes. Oh, great cheekbone. This guy's getting classy. Now, the mood you're in will definitely affect your work, and I'm in a good mood today, so I've got a nice, oh man, great cheek. I'll open that eye up a little bit. You can see that. Got a nice round cheek there. Give him a round cheek on this side. Y'all can't see this. I'm having too much fun. Okay. Those new meds are working so good. All right. Look at the round cheeks now. Do you see them? They went up tall like that. Okay. Smooth out the lip. Now this needs a little tender loving care. And I'll look at it and just touch it up lightly. I'm going to put a couple of wrinkles around the eye here. My wife just had these put in. She said she thought it would make her look more mature and worldly. I think she overdid it, but they do look nice, okay? Now, again, I'm looking around at faces, and almost everybody I know has one, so I like looking at the different faces, all right? What do you think, guys? Now, we have done that in just a skinny few minutes. We only used a stick. We'll use this one. We'll use this paddle because of the right angle. Remember that? We got our basic shapes. I explained sculpture to you. It'll help you a little bit like philosophy. If there was a great big pile of money on the table and I were to count it, when I got through and I gave you the tally, I would say $438.68. So I start with the major numbers, hundreds, and then the tens, the ones, and then the pennies. Well, sculpting, we did the same thing. We started out with our round shape here. Remember? Little review. We got it round. Then we put in the eye socket. Remember? Little review here. I used to be a school teacher. We do the eye socket, which lifted up the bridge of the nose. All right, then we lifted the nose there. Then we separated those nice cheeks over this way. Put that philtrum in. There's the upper lip. Then remember, we pushed up to make that lower lip. We went back and we added 2 equal eyes. We then added the lower eyelids. And we added that upper eyelid, which gave it a lot of the personality. Then we did the rays. Remember how we did the rays? We rolled out a big pizza. We cut them, and we weren't too anal retentive about it. Make that lower lip stand out. Make that philtrum show up. Make those crow's feet show. Get those cheekbones working there. All right, that was your review. I have thoroughly enjoyed this. I wish that I had time to paint this. Once this is fired, when it comes out of the kiln, it'll come out white because we use white earthenware clay. And the paints I use, you see behind me, I dilute them with water to make a wash, and then I go back and I put some highlights and I paint each one every time a different color because there isn't one way to do it. My mood and medication will dictate what I'm doing. You can too. The sun is one of the oldest symbols that was ever done by man. The Egyptian called it Ra. They found it 30,000 years ago in the caves in southern France. They drew animals, they drew the Sunface. We've been mystified by that glowing orange globe for years. Okay, this is all we can do for this week. Looking forward to seeing you next week. Goodbye. Good.